Hi, welcome to Sister Talk TV show. I'm your host, Deetra Kelsey. Whoa, what a night last night. Chicago was burning, huh? They shut Donald Trump down. Do you understand me? Do you hear me? Chicago shut Donald Trump down. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about 212-757-1393, 212-757-1393. Please call in the show. I just want to hear what you have to say about this protest situation, the supporters, the pro-Trump and the anti-Trump. What do you think about all of this madness? Here's a man who says that he wants to unify the country. But wow, I don't know, it was unified last night. Also, we will talk about Zoe Saldana in blackface. Nina Simone is coming up, I believe March 22nd or 23rd is coming up in the movies, and also it will be streaming. Hey, what do you think about that? 212-757-1393. And if we have enough time, we're going to talk about Mayor de Blasio signing, I believe, this act or this bill saying that transgender has the right to use the bathroom. If you were born, if you feel that you are a girl or a woman or a man, you could use the men's bathroom. If you feel that you're a man, in some instances, you know, you are born a man, but during your upgrowing, you feel that you are the opposite sex, so you can go ahead and use the woman's bathroom. How do you feel about that? 212-757-1393. But first, let's show this video.
We're not going to be the stupid country anymore. We're not going to be the stupid people anymore. We're going to be the smart country. We're going to be the smart people. We're not going to let our politicians destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let it happen. And, you know, I talk about little Marco Rubio. He's a total disaster. He's a disaster. He's a nasty guy, said nasty things, and, you know, we hit him hard. We hit him hard. Little nasty guy. He even complained about my hands. Look at those hands. Look at those hands. Look at that. You know, I hit him only in response to him. You know, I always say I'm a counterpuncher, right? Only in response to him. And he's looking around and saying, what can I say? What can I say? Well, maybe I'll say, oh, he's got small hands. Look at those. I mean, give me a break, okay? Where did he get that one? That was the first. I'm saying to myself, where did that one come from, right? But, you know, the problem was I was shaking hands with people about 2 days, 3 days later, and they're all saying, gee whiz, Mr. Trump, you actually have large and strong hands. I said, yeah. So I did want to get the word out, folks, you know. I didn't want to go the rest of my life having everyone say I have small hands. I've heard of worse things, but who needs it, right? I want to thank you all, really. I mean, it's amazing. This crowd, look at that, all the way up to the rafters. All the way up. Unbelievable. 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 And the fire marshal, you know, we have thousands of people outside. We've lost about 10,000 people. They've had to leave, but we still have thousands of people. And I think because the police are so incredible, we love our police. And your fire departments and everything, they're going to try and let another few hundred people come right up here. I said, don't worry about it. We're not going to have any problems, okay? So we're going to fill it in, and it's great. You know, the one I work on most when I go to a site are fire marshals. They're my most important people because they're the ones that let us pack. You know, nobody has crowds like we do. Nobody. And you take a look today. Here's a day. Now, in all fairness to you, right now, I'm supposed to be at the Cadillac World Golf Championships at Trump National Doral. And I'm here. I'm here. And I just left Rory. Actually, I just left Kansas, and hopefully we'll do well in Kansas. And Kentucky. And, you know, I have a list. Look at this. New Hampshire, we won. South Carolina, we won. Nevada, we won. in a massive landslide. That was supposed to be for Lion Ted Cruz. Lion Ted. He holds up the Bible and then he puts it down and he lies. I don't like that. And you know what? That's why I'm winning virtually every category with the evangelicals who I love.
I can't.
And you heard today Paula White, who was fantastic, and I appreciate Paula's being here. But Pastor Paula White was so great. And, you know, Jerry Falwell Jr. from Liberty University was so great to me. And he doesn't endorse people. He doesn't do it. But he felt this was important. And remember this, every one of the...
Welcome back. You're watching Sister Talk TV show, and I'm your host, Deetra Kelsey. You just finished watching a video of Donald Trump at another rally talking about how he's gaining momentum. And he exactly is. He's gaining momentum. You know, according to these reports from People magazine, he has called the protesters that made him cancel or postpone the rally thugs. They only energized America. Thugs, they only energized America. 212-757-1393. Do you agree or disagree? Will this be the one that will stop the momentum? Are you a Donald Trump supporter or not? You know, I'm not here to judge. I'm just reading the facts, reading the newspaper, reading what's online. You know, you have to give it to him. He is gaining momentum. You know, he said he is the one to unify the country. He is the one to bring jobs back to the country. Do you agree or disagree? 212-757-1393. But I have to say this. It appears that every rally that he has led, it appears there's been some type of clash, some type of a violent clash. I don't know if that's unifying the country or not. Is it energizing the country? That's something to think about, something to talk about. 212-757-1393. Caller, you watching Sister Talk TV show? I'm Deetra Kelsey. What do you have to say?
Good afternoon, Miss Deetra. How are you?
Hey, I'm okay. How are you?
All right. This is your buddy Rod.
Hey, Rod.
I am so proud of those protesters last night.
Oh, really?
I am proud of them. This is Donald Trump said that he called Bernie Sanders weak because he let two women shut down one of his rallies, and he said that will never happen to him. Well, look what happened last night. Donald Trump is finally reaping what he's sowing, and people need to realize that Donald Trump is part of the establishment that he's trying to separate himself from. And all these people that here, these undercover sheet-wearing KKK people are coming to his rallies. And as far as calling the protesters thugs, well, I didn't hear him call that 78-year-old man a thug that punched that brother in the face the other day. I didn't see him calling all those other people that are pushing and shoving protesters and to leave the venue. I didn't hear him call them thugs. So you know what? If he's not going to call them out, I'm calling them out. They're thugs. They're racist. They're KKK lovers. And any black man that will vote for this man and who can't say, I disavow the KKK, should have his head examined. Thank you, Ms. Deetra.
Okay, thank you.
Have a pleasant day.
Okay. Well, thank you for your comment. That was really a mouthful. Caller, you're watching Sister Talk TV show. You're talking to Deetra Kelsey. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what do you have to say?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, I'm calling from Manhattan, New York.
Okay, yes, your name?
Well, my name is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got you on speakerphone. I hope
That's
it's not
okay.
a problem.
No, it's not a problem. Not yet. No. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but I was like, this Donald Trump, he's just kooky. He says the opposite. He says he's a uniter. I don't know who's he's uniting the hatred, the haters, you know?
Right.
The bigots. That's who he's uniting. And I hope, I didn't see anything afterwards, after the protest yesterday. They were showing like the people in the streets and the police were having issues with them. But you know, when these white people see that gives those bigots, you know, fuel to go. and be out there. And he called the protesters thugs. Why they gotta be thugs? And at one point, he told the guy to go home and get a job. Now, how does he know what these people do for a living? Just because they're black, you assuming that they don't have a job?
Yes, okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you for calling the show, and thank you for your comment. Donald Trump says, like the caller says, that he's a uniter, but last night it didn't seem so. It seemed as if he was, seemed as people were really apart, just trying to, they were attacking one another. And I believe he didn't even have a chance to come out and speak to the crowd. A lot of pro Donald Trump came from Indiana, the Midwest, all over the country, and they were pretty much upset that he did not come out to speak to the crowd. But security and he said his security and the people around him felt that it was not in his best interest, safety-wise, for him to come out and speak. Donald Trump in Chicago. Chicago shut Donald Trump down. And I'll say it again. Chicago shut the Donald Trump rally down. 212-757-1393. 212-757-1393. Do you think this will energize the company where more people come out to support Donald Trump, or will there be more protesters coming out? It seems like the protesters had this really planned. They came out and they bought tickets, from what I understand, and they had it all planned out, and they were all spread out. As far as the news media says, it was more protesters than supporters. You know, it really did get out of control. One 78-year-old man punched a young black man as he was being led out by the police. He was not violent at all. You know, he was being led out by the police. It seems like it just wasn't black people that were protesting. You had all types of people that were there protesting against Donald Trump. Will this stop the momentum? Will this stop the momentum? And you hear the control room saying, I have 3 calls. Caller, you watch a Sister Talk TV show?
Yep.
What's your name and what do you have to say?
Hey, Sister Deidre.
Hey.
Yeah.
Who's this?
This is Brother Mark from Harlem.
Hey, Brother Mark, how you doing?
How you doing?
Okay.
Great topic.
Okay.
Well, you know, I'll try to be brief, sweetheart. But I got one word for Donald Trump. He is a narcissist. You know what a narcissist is, right?
Yeah, what is it? Tell viewers also, what is it?
Yeah, I don't want to get too quickly analytical, but people are smart. They know what a narcissist is. It's a self-serving individual that only cares about their self-serving agenda. To make it real simple, I won't go clinical on you.
Okay.
So that's what he is, but we'll take it to the third power in white supremacist, idiosyncratic white man that is really self-annihilating. But see, the problem is, sister, us people with shades of melanin, we ain't waking up to our critical dialectic intelligence. We're still sleeping. We're still twerking. We're still feeding into the white supremacist agenda. That's the problem.
Okay, all right.
When you get some angry black people, they don't know how to circumvent their anger. You see, the way you circumvent your anger, sister, is stop putting the money in his coffers.
I hear you.
That's the way to do it. You cannot say we shall overcome. You can't put your fist in the air. You can't call Martin Luther King. You can't call Malcolm. You have to stop putting your money in these crackers' coffers.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mark. We have other phone calls. We have other callers. Thank you for your comment. Caller, you watch the Sister Talk TV show.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, who's this and where you calling from? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, who's this and where you calling from?
Dana Mano. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
I am so pleased that you are covering this topic today.
Thank you very much.
And I think it's very important to just be informed about what's really going on. First of all, this canceling of his rally in Chicago had more to do with the fact that Donald Trump may not understand some things, but he understands litigation. And with all of the violence that has been going on, there is a law against inciting people to riot. And I think that at this point, this is how he must be dealt with. I know when it comes to the upcoming Supreme Court nomination, wasn't it Donald Trump who got up and said, all everyone should do is delay, delay, delay? Well, we need to delay Donald Trump in the courts, in the court system, get him tied up with lawsuits. He's already spent over $30 million of his own money, and we need to empty his coffers, because at the beginning of his campaign, he didn't even have to spend any money on ads because the media covered him so much that he didn't even need to do any advertising. And so every time, if I do write about him in any social media, I just say, he who must not be named. Because the more we keep giving him a little press and a little information and a little, he doesn't have to spend money then on advertising.
Right.
Even his coffers are not bottomless. So this is what we must do: tie him
So
up
what's
in
your
litigation,
what's your
tie
name
him up
again?
in court, and use up as much of his money as possible.
So what's your name again?
This is Dana McBroom Mano.
Oh, yes, of course. Right. I'm sorry. McBroom sisters.
Yes,
And you've been on the
yes,
show.
yes.
So we have to have you back on the show when we really have our panel discussions, okay?
I would love to be on there, and yes, we will. My dance troupe will be performing in a free concert on the 20th of April at Fashion Institute of Technology. It's an international diversity dance and music concert. So anyone who's free, it's a Wednesday. It's a free concert. There'll be dancers from all over the planet, gospel singers.
All right.
Yes, and I'd love to come back on the show.
Okay, thank you, Dana. Thank you for calling. So we have one more phone call. Caller, you watch a Talk TV show. What's your name and what do you have to say? Oh, I can hear myself. You know what I'm going to say? You have to turn the TV down. Okay. Okay, we have to cut that off, please. Cut it off. Cut him off. So, anybody else want to call 212-757-1393, 212-757-1393. And when you call, make sure the volume on your television is turned down or your computer is turned down, because we're getting a lot of feedback. So do you think that this will energize America, as Donald Trump says, or it will really let America take a look at itself? Is this the person that we want to represent America? 212-757-1393. Before we go ahead to that, we're going to go to video and we'll be right back.
Yes.
And I could tell that you have a warm heart just because of the statement I just said. The question I want to ask before I open up the panel, and other people want to ask, other questions too.
Sure.
Why Sarah Palin?
Well, I was introduced to Governor Palin just as everyone else was when Senator McCain tapped her to be his running mate. And the first thing, I'll just tell you my initial response, and what drew me initially was her respect for the sanctity of life. And as a Christian, that's an issue that is absolutely important to me. I mean, if we're not going to value life, then, well, no one would be here right now. And so that was something that drew me. And then the more I got to know about her record as the governor of Alaska, what she did in Alaska, a woman who had a 90% approval rating, which is basically unheard of, prior to, of course, coming onto the national scene when the media decided that they wanted to take up an attack. But she was a reformer and a maverick. Of course, that was a platform that they ran on. But there was something to that when you look at her record and how she took on corruption in the state of Alaska on either side of the aisle. And that was why the approval rating was so high, first of all, because she saw corruption and she worked to get rid of it. No matter whether you're a Democrat, no matter whether you're Republican, she stood up for that. And to me right now, she is a common sense voice the most consistent, the most nonstop, the most unwavering voice we have for common sense conservatism.
MotivationTruth.com.
Yes.
What's that all about?
And that is my website, which I started in 2008, shortly after the election. And it originally began with the desire to speak the truth about issues, particularly in the beginning, issues that pertain to black people. And my view about how we seem to be stuck in a system that is the antithesis of what many of us believe and really isn't serving us well. And that was where it originally started. And I wanted to see truth out there, particularly after following the 2008 election, where I feel like there was a lot of cutthroat antics going on. And I wanted
2008 election, you
to...
said that?
2008 election.
Cutthroat?
Yes, particularly concerning Governor Palin in particular, and just the media's assault on that. And so I wanted to speak the truth, and that is my only interest. What's true, not who, but what. And principles are very important to me.
I just want to say one thing, and it's going to be a quote from Martin Luther King.
Right.
Do we all know who that is?
Yes, and he was a Republican.
And that wasn't
I'm from Massachusetts, and so wasn't.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
was
people,
raised by
blacks were
Republicans,
Republicans
okay?
during that
And
time.
when they first were able to vote, which they had to fight, and were murdered and burnt, up and all that, and killed, they had to register as Republicans. That was the only way they were allowed to vote. But I just don't like to mess people's quotes up but all I have to say is nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. And that's Martin Luther King Jr. And that's all I have to say about Sarah Palin and her followers. I think as a black woman, I don't know where your lineage was split. I don't understand how you can even consider yourself a black woman and support
I'm glad you brought that
such
up.
a farce.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
joke.
And I'm glad you didn't hold back.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm
So
glad you
don't
didn't hold back
okay?
because that's the thing we always come back to. I'm an American. I'm a black American and proud of it. And but we always want to be the black police, and we always want to determine who's black enough. And if you're not black and you don't subscribe to, if you're black and you don't subscribe to our way of thinking, then how can you call yourself a black woman? And I say to that, so much of what black people stand for. Most black people are social conservatives. Most black people are people of faith. And I look at the Democratic Party, which desires to remove God from every aspect of our public life, abortion is killing off our people. We have the largest percentages of abortion in this nation. Planned Parenthood was started by a woman who wanted to eradicate the black race, and yet we continue to support people who are the antithesis of what matters to us. To me, Sarah Palin, Governor Palin, is more of a lover of black people and her stand for life and her stand for limited government and her stand for trying to get the economy moving than some black people who have no concept that the Democratic Party has not helped us get anywhere. It has made us victims to a system that has not empowered us but has caused us to depend on them. Government is not our source. God is our source.
Sarah Palin is a lover of self. Sarah Palin is an opportunist.
And
Sarah Palin did not even like John McCain before he tapped her for VP. She was very friendly towards President Obama. She said some very glowing things about President Obama. She talked about him being charismatic. She talked about him being someone that was against status quo. And all those things that Sarah Palin wants to tell herself as she said about him. And all of a sudden now that she wants to be on that bandwagon because it is beneficial to her. And Sarah Palin is a polarizing person.
You know what? Let me have to talk to the viewers. If you all want to call the show, you all want to call the show. Whoa, that was a heated discussion. It didn't really get out of hand. Actually, Sean, the one woman with the scarf, and Adrian Ross, who still is a Sarah Palin supporter, they're friends. They're really good friends. They know each other from way back. So, you know, they went out to dinner after the show was over. But that was a really, really good discussion. And, you know, I had to give her a lot of points for coming on TV to talk about why she supported Sarah Palin. And, you know, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of people were getting at her because, you know, according to her, she does not follow, you know, what's supposed to be, you know, the norm, what you're supposed to follow. She's her own person. She's her own person, and that she felt that Sarah Palin was more of a lover of black people than President Obama. Hey, 212-757-1393, 212-757-1393. What do you think about this Donald Trump madness that people are following suit? You got Donald Trump anti-Donald Trump, pro-Donald Trump, 212-757-1393.